Well, happy Friday to everyone out there. And the main question I got for everybody is who is ready for the weekend? I am. I had a stressful week at work and I was ready for the weekend since Monday. Actually, not gonna lie, probably Tuesday. Tuesday, I was ready for the weekend. So, Courtney, are you ready for the weekend?
Yeah, I guess. I still have work to do, so
Oh,
it
geez.
probably would be a working weekend.
Fair enough, fair enough. At least I can talk from myself. At least I don't have to leave my home and go in the office or anything like that. I don't know if it's the same for you, Courtney.
Actually, we just started back going to the office, so unfortunately for me, I have to make that from home to town run every day now.
Oh, so you gotta go back to the office this weekend.
Well, yeah, for the week.
Oh, okay. But you're still ready for the weekend though.
It at this stage, I don't know. Maybe maybe tomorrow's game will give me some joy.
Boy, tomorrow's game versus Fulham at 8:30 in the morning. I don't know if I want to watch that based on how this team is performing, but it's almost like an abusive relationship where you love them so bad, but they treat you so bad, but you still wanna be there for them and cuddle them and cook for them. I don't know, man. But we're not just gonna talk about Man United playing Fulham tomorrow away at Craven Cottage. We had other news today with regards to not today, but during the week, with regards to Sir Jim Radcliffe looking to dedicate around 300 million to, I think it's the transfer budget for Manchester United, maybe. And then we're hearing about Paul Pogba, who got caught in a bit of doping,
Hmm.
and he will be facing a 2-year ban. So, which means he will be banned until 2025. So, I know Paul Pogba is more than ready for this weekend and the next weekend and the next weekend and the next weekend, right?
Well, let's address the Pogba thing first. I think it's a series of unfortunate events for him. He had that whole family scandal where the brothers was blackmailing him and all that jazz. And I think in his bid to try to get back to the peak of his physicality, he may have made a misstep. I don't want to believe, based on the individual that has been portrayed in the media, that he would willingly take a banned substance. Because we've seen in the past where, some athletes have been given advice by their doctors, and when you already look at it, that's how they end up in that doping scandal. Because as an athlete, yes, you're reading everything that you're trying your best to read everything that you put into your body, but at the same time, too, if you go to a medical expert and they say, "Well, yeah, you could take this," you have no reason to doubt them.
But I think as an athlete, and you enter in there's not there's not corporate. This is the world of sports, right? Where everybody should have a level playing field, and if anybody tries to get a one up on the average person trying to score a goal, score a basket, run 100 meters in 10 seconds or less, anybody trying to get a one up on somebody without training hard and putting in the work, then you got to question them, right?
I
Now,
agree.
knowing that you are in this type of environment and you get injured, you should have people who have knowledge of certain things around you, both pros and cons. So you take this type of drink, or you take this type of injection, or you take this type of medication according to you. These are what would happen to your body for the short term and long term. But side effects include, and you list these type of side effects, right? So, but no, I kind of I kind of take your side because we know Paul Pogba is Muslim and he tries to live his life. He's not. He has a he. If he's wild, is he's wild in terms of like his dancing on the pitch and his hairstyle, but that's nothing compared to like a Adrian Mutu who does the you know what, right? So, but yeah, I never portrayed Paul Pogba as that type of person, and I'm kind of on your side, Courtney per se. But when it comes to doping, people's mentality only shift one way, right? So let me invite President Chad onto the panel, well, too, right? I don't know if he was intended to come on, but he's here right now. How are you
Good
doing?
afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, President Chad, and how are you on this glorious Friday?
Well, boy, it's Friday. We inside talking United business. Can't complain about that.
All right, well, all right.
Our big Phil don't mind eating on his stream.
It's a Friday night. It's a Friday night, man. At the end of the day, we're just here to talk about, yes, United business, but other football stories that came along this week or whatever, right? We were just discussing the whole Paul Pogba situation with regards to him being banned until 2025, right? So, as I was telling Courtney, Paul Pogba is more than ready for this weekend and the next weekend and the next and the next and the next and the next. He's ready for every single weekend going forward.
What I would say is, if that is the case, it's better they pack up shop, you go Saudi Arabia, take the money and relax.
I was just about to get to that because in 2 years' time, Paul Pogba will be 32, maybe, which means he is in the prime of his career as a midfielder, right? Because at the end of the day, different positions, different primes, right? We all know that the goalkeeper has the highest prime, then the center, then the defense line, and the midfield and the striker, right? So as a midfielder, he can still maybe get a couple more years at the top level in Europe, and then either go to Saudi Arabia or MLS. Now, what's your whole take on the whole Paul Pogba situation, President Chad?
Saudi Arabia, I would think. Well, Saudi Arabia, I would think for Paul Pogba. And I wouldn't like to say mainly because he is a Muslim. I think they would be more than willing to take him in there and pay him some big money. Paul Pogba career has nosedived ever since he left Manchester United. I am not upset with Paul Pogba for leaving Manchester United. We all know the circumstances, how that went down. But clearly, he's a player that valued himself a little higher than he was really worth. I think in this instance, he probably was trying everything possible to come back, to get back to fitness. Probably took some stuff he wasn't supposed to take, but as I think you all mentioned earlier, Paul Pogba isn't really a cheat. So it's just unfortunate he wouldn't be the first player to have something found in the system that, he didn't intentionally intend, you know what I mean? Wouldn't be the first player that happened to. It is what it is. You need to be vigilant. You're a professional sportsman. You can't just be taking stuff like you and me. You know what I mean? You're getting blood tests. So it is unfortunate for him, but we always used to talk about the Paul Pogba curse in reference to Manchester United performing badly. But
Correct.
Paul Pogba curse clearly now has to apply to Paul Pogba himself. Because ever since he has left Manchester United, it almost looks like his career has been cursed. That's just what it is, unfortunately.
Totally agree. Courtney, President Chad mentioned that maybe in 2 years' time, Paul Pogba could see himself in Saudi Arabia. I think.
So wait, hold on. The ban is a worldwide ban, or it's just a ban for it?
That's a very good question. I think it was imposed by FIFA. FIFA means all over. So he's banned from football.
Correct.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, well, if that is the case, then
nobody's not supposed to be able to play Paul Pogba right now.
If that is the case, then it's better he retire and call our job.
What do you mean retire?
Nah. If I go on Wikipedia
At
right now,
30?
Paul Pogba's 30 is 30 or 32. Paul Pogba right now is 30, so he gets a 2 year
Nah,
ban
man,
until
put him,
2020.
man.
The guy can be 32. The guy is still younger than Luka Modric
Yeah,
and whoever.
Again, it's a difference
yeah.
between aging while still playing competitive. You were now going to spend 2 years of not actively playing football at the highest level.
Yeah,
It's
but
not, it's not
at
like
the end of the day, Courtney, that 2 years doesn't take away from the 20 plus years he was playing,
no, but remember your body is a body thing. So
Yeah, but after let's say in the next 2 years of Paul Pogba sitting down at home on the weekend, he keeps himself in physical shape and what's not. Maybe after 2 years and he gets a contract with, I don't know, MLS or Saudi Arabia. Yeah, it'll take him probably 5 to 7 years to shake off the rust. But knowledge on playing football at the highest level for 10 plus years doesn't just go away like that, right? So, but my question to you, Courtney, was after the ban, you said it's best he retire. I say play maybe 2 to 3 more years at the top level. Take whatever team can give you a contract in Europe, and then after that, after you fulfill that 2 or 3 year contract, you can see yourself off to Saudi Arabia or MLS. That's my opinion. What's your take, Courtney?
now, look, I'm gonna say this.
Yep.
He's had a string of muscular. I think he was hamstring and he was out. I think for a knee injury, if memory serves correct. I don't quote me on it, but I think it's a knee injury, right? As you get older, your ability to bounce back becomes hard. What I'm saying is, the brain might still be there. He might still have the speed of thought and those things, but the body's reaction is going to be different. He's not going to be active for 2 years. He's not like a Mason Greenwood, where he's still young enough that I've been out for a period of time, I could still come back. Or even a Ivan Toney. He's going to be 32 when he comes back. So you saying, if you tell me you're going to be 32 and when he come back, he coming back and straight going in Saudi Arabia, MLS, all right, cool. But I can't see him getting a contract at the highest levels in Europe at that age.
So when I say in Europe, it don't have to be. It can be Champions League at like in France or Champions League in Ajax or Champions League in Ukraine, right? Because don't forget those teams that are not
Galatasaray will take him.
Yeah, Galatasaray. See. So like, obviously, I don't think an EPL, a Spanish or Italian team will take back Paul Pogba. But at the end of the day, Turkey, Ukraine, Russia. Well, I don't know if Russia's still allowed in Europe based on events of last year, right? But Turkey, who else I mentioned? Holland,
Yeah,
Ukraine,
you gotta remember something.
Denmark, Croatia.
He's looking for money. He's looking to secure his retirement package.
Now, here's the thing, right? Coming off of a drug ban, you kind of got to take what you could take, okay? What you could get, right? No, after you could take what you could get, after seeing out a 2 year or 3 year contract at that level of could be Champions League, could be Europa League, could be Conference League. The point is he'll be still playing in Europe, right? Then you tell yourself, you know what? I've won it all. I've won Europa League with United. I've won World Cup with France.
The only thing he doesn't have in his closet, I think he have a Scudetto, right?
I think he got 4 back. He got 4 back to back Scudettos with.
Right, so you have a Scudetto, you have a Champions League. No, you don't have a Champions League.
You don't have a Champions League now.
Europa League. You have a World Cup. The only thing he really missing from the trophy cabinet is a Champions League.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's probably not going to get a Champions League.
Right. So I mean.
So yeah, so cut your losses and bust out.
But if he was coming back at like an age of like 35, 36, 37, then I could kind of see where you're coming from. But it's 32. It's 32. 32 is good age for most positions in football. Center back, goalkeeper, definitely midfielder, striker. Yeah. Don't forget Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy was banging in goals
Man,
at
the
30,
man play
at
next to
32.
Pirlo.
We might play next to Pirlo in midfield at the age of like
Yes,
Man
what?
play
but
next to
Pirlo is a
Pirlo when
different
Pirlo was
class of player.
36.
Yeah.
Again, Paul
Pirlo's
Pogba's game is based around his ability to explode and his strength. Now,
Yeah.
the injuries that he's had, we don't know if he still has that ability to explode and if he still has that strength. So, in 2 years' time, we will see. I don't believe that he will come back to the highest level of Europe. He might just end up in France or at the French league is probably the only league I'll see that he'll be able, or even maybe in Turkey, if the price is right. But outside of that, he go in Saudi Arabia and make a couple million and set up the retirement fund.
Not a couple million, Courtney. We're
The
talking.
bottom line is, in 2 years, I don't expect Paul Pogba to be an honest team. He will be playing football somewhere. It may not be at a place he would have seen himself in 2 years,
Correct.
but he'll be playing football somewhere.
Let me get through a couple of comments here. And Ashton, good night to you. Portugal is also a good place. Sporting Lisbon, Porto, Benfica, those guys have a chance in both Champions League and Europa League. So yeah. And Kesley Man, thanks for joining us, buddy. He's saying blessed good evening to guys. Before we go to this Jim Ratcliffe, I just saw a tweet from Fabrizio Romano. And it's the latest tweet from Fabrizio Romano where he's saying, Ten Hag on Rashford partying after the 3-love defeat. I'm aware of it. Also spoke with him about it. Unacceptable. Marcus apologized. That's it. It's an internal matter. He is very motivated to put things right. He makes a mistake, but he's totally with us. All good. Now, in my opinion, Courtney and President Chad, that covering up something because how do you as a professional find time to party
What
after
with
a
you stop?
3-0 defeat?
Hold on. And let's be fair. Marcus Rashford is still a human being. We'll have a bad week at work or bad day at work. And we'll go in the bar and sit down and buy 2-3 rounds of beers and lime and party and
I get that, but it's a different environment because
why is it a different environment?
No, I'll tell you because I can read Cass' comment here. See the difference between Rashford and Sancho? It was Rashford's birthday. Now, I get that, right? And I totally can see why he went partying. Now, here's my thing now with regards to responding to Courtney, right? In an office environment, when we have a bad week, we can go to the bar and drink a rum or drink a vodka, whatever, right? But that entire week, we are only reporting or responding to about maybe 4 or 5 people, your work colleagues, your manager, maybe HR if they want help with something, right? Marcus Rashford is reporting to about 30 million United fans worldwide. 30 million. We're talking about in the Caribbean, we're talking about Asia, we're talking about in Africa, and we're talking about in Europe. 30 million people tune in to watch Marcus Rashford every single weekend, and you put in that type of performance in a Manchester derby, and then your response is to go partying. Now, to respond to Kies's comment, don't get me wrong, it's your birthday, and if you feel like turning up, by all means, right? But the way some people may perceive it versus how Marcus Rashford in his head may perceive it at the time is totally different, right? You um, played horse shit in the Manchester Derby, and the thing on your mind afterwards is to go straight to partying. I'm just saying how most fans would perceive it, right? Even look at Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag is saying, I'm aware of it, also spoke with him about it. Unacceptable. Think about it. Did Sir Alex Ferguson let the guys, David
I
Beckham and Scholes and those guys back in the day party? Hardly. Hardly.
What? Don't remember that now.
Hardly.
Dwight York.
I know you're gonna mention Dwight York. I know.
Dwight York.
I could have seen the Dwight York. I could have seen the Dwight York comment coming. But I could get back to you and Kurt. I get back to you and President Chad. Let me see what the guy's saying here. A team like Nottingham or Getafe or Lyon, Ajax might still take Paul Pogba. True. And yeah, Cass's comment, it was Rashford birthday, Phil. And then Ashton is saying, it's the man birthday. Could give him a little space, at least not like he doing it consistent. Guys, Cass and Ashton, totally agree with you. I don't care how good of a week or how shit of a week I had. If it is my birthday the weekend, I'm going to turn up, right? But I'm just telling you, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm just telling you from a fan's point of view, nobody cares. Sorry, let me put it another way, because at the end of the day, Cass and Ashton, you still are Manchester United fans, but most Manchester United fans would not see it your way, Cass and Ashton. I'm just saying.
You know what's the difference between then and now? Between Fergie time and now? One simple thing. Social media.
But that makes it even worse, Courtney. That makes it even worse. I mean, before we go back and forth, Courtney, let me hear President Chad. So you got some interesting comments, Courtney. I can get back to you. Let me hear President Chad on Marcus Rashford party. It wasn't a topic. It wasn't a topic I had for the agenda, but
well, I mean, you're getting it fresh. Fabricio, now tweeted, so you're talking about it. I think it was a rookie mistake, and because it was a rookie mistake, the circumstances, clearly the manager understands. It was your birthday. You would have booked this spot beforehand. It was not like you left and you was looking around with Malacia and a cruel fella, let me go online. My understanding is the spot was booked beforehand and it was a low-key affair. Marcus Rashford wasn't jugging it down. He wasn't whining on tables. It was a birthday line, so it would have had pictures of such, but it was a low-key affair. And I think the reason it was a low-key affair was because we got licks in Manchester Derby, right? But fans, and what Phil is saying is correct, fans take it on the chin. There are a lot of us, over the weekend, be depressed when Manchester United lose, especially lose in that manner. We don't want to know you partying, right? We don't care. Fans can be very insensitive. We don't care it's your birthday. We don't care what's going on with you, right? We suffering. You must look like you suffering too, right?
Exactly.
And that I understand that. I understand that. But at the same time, Marcus Rashford, it was just a rookie mistake. What he should have done was cancel that party, say, fellas, only come on by me, and whatever pics we take, no posting until, the next win or something, right? You talk about my birthday in retrospect,
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's just what you have to do, because the eyeballs on you, because the eyeballs on Manchester United. Just to highlight what I'm talking about. Manchester United lost to a well-placed and informed Newcastle, right? That are above us in the table. Arsenal lost to West Ham. Nobody is talking about that. Look where Arsenal is. Look where West Ham is. Nobody cares, right? That should be bigger news that the title contenders of last season and this season lost to lowly West Ham. But the bigger news is Manchester United losing to Newcastle, right? That is all you're seeing. That is all you're talking about. No, people who are not into football following it hard wouldn't even know Arsenal lose that game. right? That's just the reality. Everybody's talking about Manchester United loss. So Rashford needs to understand there's a certain pressure, unfair as it may be, for playing for Manchester United. And
True.
sometimes you just had to make sacrifices. And if you had to sacrifice your scheduled birthday plans and change the venue to something a little more private and not even post your pics on your birthday, people might
I
say
could
it's
give
unfair,
I could
but
give
it
I
is
could
what
give you
it
guys a
is.
scenario.
Because I am telling you, if Marcus Rashford had posted pictures with he and his, is he married as yet? Just now, Phil, is he married as yet or he's still fiance?
I still think fiance.
Marcus married or he's still engaged?
I think he's
All
still
right. So
engaged.
if Marcus just posted pictures, if it was an intimate, right? If it was just an intimate dinner with Marcus and his girlfriend, and he posted pictures smiling and things, people would have an issue with that. People would have, even if people would have an issue with that. So he just was not supposed, nothing was supposed to come out, right? Pretend you're in sackcloth and ashes because we lose. Have your line, line with your friends, and
I could
post
give
pictures after
I
we
could
beat
give
Fulham
I could
tomorrow.
give you
That was
guys
a
I could
rookie
give you
mistake.
guys a
That was a
scenario.
rookie mistake.
I could give you guys a scenario, right? Let me bring it back to real life here now, right? Before I give you that scenario, let me get through some of the comments here now. Don't worry, Courtney, I forget you.
No,
Yes,
where are
he's
you?
saying I understand what you're saying. They dealt with it internally and Rashford apologized. We don't need another unnecessary distraction with what's going on. Yes, I totally agree with you again. I share your sentiments, but I think there's a saying that goes Manchester United hated, adored, but never ignored. Let me repeat that again. Manchester United hated, adored, never ignored, right? We are one of the biggest football clubs in the world. Believe it or not, anything Manchester United related will always generate news, right? Always generate news, right? So any nitpicking from the t-shirts, not even the t-shirts being too tight on the players, to some bust up in the dressing room or whatever, right? It will always generate news. Let me get through some comments here. Um, Alex, good night to you as well. And one more comment from Cass. He's saying that he is agreeing with you, President Chad. Right? All right, Courtney. Now, like I was telling you about 5 minutes
And the
ago,
interesting
right?
thing,
Yeah. Sorry, President Chad.
about that T-shirt thing, Manchester United is not the only club that is wearing Adidas shirts. Manchester United players are not the only players that have been using replicas because there's a challenge with the sizing of the player kits with Adidas. But again, exactly what we were talking about before. You hear about Manchester United players complaining, making the players look like whiners. But we are not the only club that have this issue with Adidas. Right? We're not the only club that wear Adidas shirts. Our players are not the only players that have a challenge with the fit. But it is what it is. We are Manchester United and it's just part of the thing.
I could pose a scenario to Courtney, to President Chad, and anybody in the comments. Let me bring it back to reality. Your girl, you and your girl break up on Friday night at like 7, 8. Bear in mind, you two still follow each other on social media. So two of y'all end the relationship after like 4 or 5 years, whatever. 6 months, I don't care. At 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And you in your bed crying, trying to get over this girl. Could be crying, could be drinking a rum at home, I don't care. And about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you on Instagram scrolling. Maybe for some motivational quotes or maybe to see some man working out in the gym for tomorrow because you want to try and get over this girl and you come across your girl Instagram story with her popping
Hold
bubble
on, she's
and
no longer my girl. We
twerking.
done.
Huh?
She's no longer my girl. We done.
But wait, nah. Wait, you and your girl break up on the same day and in the same night. You see her Instagram story. She popping bottles with her friends.
What
and
that
she's
do with
working
me?
on another man. How are you going to feel?
That has to do with me. Because I probably gonna do the exact same thing. We're really telling.
No. But you ain't listen to my scenario.
Ah,
You ain't listen to my
No, I
scenario.
listen to your scenario.
I think
But
you're using wrong scenario. You will feel heartbreak. You will be more hurt. Yes, without a doubt. As a man, you will start asking yourself, but what was going on here? You know, I was taking this too serious. But at the same time, all it done, so she can do what she want. Maybe it's more appropriate if you found out that your mom died or something.
No.
Maybe you found out your mom
No,
died.
you
And when
trying
they're
to
still together,
you trying to
and
tell
she
me
there
that
telling
you get
you,
over a
oh, you know, a
heartbreak
story
in a couple of
and
hours?
everything.
hold on. There's a reason why there's a
No,
saying.
it's not that you would get over it. It's the fact that all you're done, she could do what she wants. It will still hurt you, but all you're done, she can do what she wants.
And hold on.
If all you're
If we done,
together, you would hope,
if we done, and we
you
done on
know,
good
she would
terms.
not do what she wants.
If we done and we done on good terms, why would I still be following her on social media? Come on.
No. But you're switching up my scenario.
He's
No,
a
but
different breed. He cutting you off right through.
You
right.
switching up my scenario. My scenario is you break up with a girl, and instead of going out, you're trying to get over the heartbreak. So you're staying home and you're drinking a rum to ease the pain.
But she
And then 2
she
hours
trying to
later,
get over too.
but exactly. So how would you feel if you are at home doing nothing but yourself and you go through social
That,
media
By gyrating on our next man.
and actually
that
gyrating
had
on the
nothing to
next
do with
man?
me. She's a big woman.
Oh Lord, nah.
I'm probably heartless. Let me just leave it at that. I have.
You're probably heartless. Anyway, back to the scenario with Marcus Rashford, right?
No, I understand what both you and President Shad have said. And I agree with you all to some extent. But at the end of the day, you know, he's still a human being. So and it's not to say it was a random dance he was going. He was celebrating his birthday, which at the end of the day, we all want to celebrate, regardless win, lose, or draw. We want to be able to celebrate our birthday. Now, would this have been a scene if it is the no pictures didn't come out? It probably would not have. And if it was me, and if I was in Marcus's position, knowing the kind of environment that I in, it'd be like, hey, fellas, if we go into this thing, let me leave the cameras by the door. This is not a posting event. We just come in, thing, we go have a little lineman thing, and we'll keep it moving. Understand? And you're going to a space where I don't want no pictures. Because of social media now, you have to evolve your approach. Now, I like how the manager has dealt with it.
Yeah,
Come out and say,
rookie mistake.
no, it's not even a mistake. He will say it's a mistake because, you know, for the optics. But I'm perfectly sure the manager was aware. Yeah, the manager was aware. Look, it's my birthday. We're going on zest. Everything is everything. And the manager probably would have been like, yeah, I know we lost, but.
And the response from the manager suggests as well that he is not bothered by it.
Yeah,
because
like
the response from the manager kind of like, you know, he appeasing the fans. He not saying what is okay, Marcus is a big boy, or overreacting. He didn't say that, but he kind of appeased the fans a little bit. But at the same time, clearly he's not taking any action against Marcus. You know, he said it was discussed internally. So clearly he understands that, you know, fans may be overreacting a little bit, but I'm not gonna publicly say that, but at the same time, there's no reason to berate Marcus because it's really not that serious. And that is the truth.
Correct.
It's
really
not that
every
serious.
Friday the man looking to head in as a Sunday's party, and you know, people really overdoing it this wrong too.
Exactly. That is not Marcus. That is not Marcus MO. You understand? It's not like, as you say, Marcus is not every weekend. It's pictures.
It's not like
and then it's This is the thing that people had. It was low key. I mean, we were not there. But my understanding, it was a very low-key affair, right? Nobody wasn't whining on tables. You know, it was a low-key birthday celebration. And I think Marcus earned the right to do that. But fans may not understand or appreciate that.
All right.
Sorry, I missed the back and out between you two, but I'm gonna get through some comments and we're gonna move on to some other topics. Let me see. Jeffrey J. Griffith, thanks for joining. You're saying ahoy. My man is saying that the girlfriend in the club celebrating a loss. Interesting. Martin Phillip, thanks for joining. And this is something that I stressed earlier in the show. Not that everybody isn't like me, but everybody or most United fans won't think like maybe Kess or Ashton, right? And I'm on Cash and Ashton's side, right? But I'll read the comment first. Everyone isn't made up the same, Big Phil. Those guys are living in the cancel culture era. They do not understand, right? Oh, yep, definitely true. Let me get through a couple more comments here and keep the comments coming, guys. Cass is saying exactly President Chad concerning Ten Hag's response. Cass is also saying, imagine the media if Rashford was caught celebrating with his Man City friends. Yep. I think Marcus Rashford is friends with.
And we know he have Man City friends, eh? We know he have Man City friends because he used to live in Manchester. He grew up there.
I think he's friends with Phil Foden. I could be wrong. Anyway, let me get through one more comment. Where Jeffrey is saying some women do that, especially with like-minded women as their friends. Yeah, Jeffrey, what you're probably saying is that some women who have single friends, they can't wait for you to get out of that relationship so that they could be miserable just like you, because misery loves
Let me
company.
go down this road now. Let me leave this.
I going wait. I already done the road, big man. My headlights are on. I already done the road.
But one more thing to say. I just have one more thing to say. It has some girls, they ain't posting party pics on a regular day. They ain't posting gyrating pics on a regular day. But they break up with a man and all of a sudden, it's real pics. You know to yourself, let me not real. It's crying inside because, you know, they're trying to hurt the man. Because you're not custom posting them kind of pics. You're not custom. It's not what you just do every day. It's not real. I ain't saying all girls like that, but we know it have some girls like that.
All right. So for a good discussion. Let me take it away from the Marcus Rashford aspect and let me talk about Sir Jim Radcliffe, who is apparently going to make a bid for a quarter or 25% of the club, worth around 1.3 billion, and he said that he's going to invest 300 million into the club. Now, I don't know if I have the right words. I don't know if it's 300 million into transfers or I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And what you guys are thinking about
facilities.
That? Is the facilities? Oh, okay. Okay. What do you guys think about that per se?
Let me go first. Courtney is the money man. Let me go first. Courtney could deal with the money aspect of it. I have a question for Phil.
Yep.
How much it is? 1.3 billion? 1.3 multiplied by 4 is how much?
Multiplied by 4?
Oh Lord.
It's not 5.2 billion?
You lucky I got my phone here with a calculator, boy. So 1.3
5.4
4 equals 5.2 billion.
Or 5.2. Right. So he is paying 1.3 billion for 25% of the club and control rights as far as the footballing aspects of things, right? We had a man willing to pay 6 billion for total ownership of the club. Only a blank 6 to take 1.3 to sell 25%. Clearly, the Glazers are more interested in sticking around and milking Manchester United than taking their money and their bag and leave. And I am sorry, but Jim Ratcliffe, regardless of his intentions, can only be seen as a facilitator to Glazer bad ownership. Right? Because why are you putting in 1.3 billion just to say, well, yeah, I have a foot inside the door and I could control, I have some right. I want to paint a scenario real quick and I will let Courtney deal with it because I know Courtney's a man, he could maybe put it across a little more eloquently than me. I have an asset. I am selling you 25% and I am giving you what appears to be controlling rights. So when things go bad and people ball Glazers out, I could say, watch me, it's not me controlling football side, it's Ratcliffe. So I say long in the back, pocketing your 1.3 billion, right? Putting your money in my pocket, still getting my dividends. But when things go bad, I blaming you. How is this a good deal for anybody, including the fans? Yeah, you're spending 300 million on the facilities. So Glazers wasn't supposed to be spending money on the facilities all the time. Everybody, including the fans, are getting screwed. Because Sir Jim Ratcliffe, when I look at Nice, it hasn't shown me that he is capable of transforming our club. But even more than that, as I said before, even if he is, why are you facilitating bad behavior from the Glazers? Why? We don't want them here. Why are you doing that? He should have pulled out too. He had an offer on the table for the whole club. It's either you take the Qatari offer or you take my offer. I ain't making it easy for you. Because 1.3 multiplied by 4 is a hell of a lot less than 6+ billion. You understand? So I'm sorry, but Jim, before he starts, have my support.
President Chad, I go take it a step further, right? He's spending 1.3 to get 25%, right? That means the Glazers still have a 75% shareholder in the thing, right? But you're saying that 25% given me football operations. All right. But that's not making sense because the majority shareholders is still the Glazers. So at the end of the day, the ultimate decisions is on them. So the maths don't maths. You understand?
Well, Courtney, what I'm reading here is that the 300 million, it will be used for Man United's aging physical infrastructure as part of the deal, right? But just remember what President Chad said, and this is something I was thinking about earlier in the day at work. Why? Because anything that goes for right now is highlighting the flaws of the Glazers, right? Why all of a sudden is this money now being used for the physical infrastructure of Manchester United? Think about it.
I think somewhere I was reading that England has a bid for one of the major tournaments coming up. I can't remember which one it is. And Old Trafford had to withdraw because they weren't meeting the standards. And when they realized all of this coming out after they had to withdraw the bid. And they realized, well, wait. For the price that we want to charge, we can't really compete because London has a new stadium. Spurs have a new stadium. City Ground is one of the top grounds in England.
Arsenal.
Wembley.
Wait, you mentioned Wembley already, yeah.
Well, yeah, Wembley. So in order for them to be competitive, they have to invest in money now because they realize that you were skating all the time, you was getting through because you were still having the little concerts and whatever. But if you want to be a major international FIFA venue, you have to be up to a standard. So I'm not surprised that there's 300 million. And 300 million is a drop in the bucket of the kind of investment they need. Remember, the Qataris were willing to build an entire new Old Trafford. That was in the plan. because they realize that the way how Old Trafford is built, because I think this version of Old Trafford is an extension of the one that was bombed in World War II. And they just kept expanding until they've reached the limits. They were saying we will build a new stadium connected to the historical parts of the old stadium and break down that and put it into a car park so that we have our kind of more leeway. But them fellas don't want to spend that kind of money.
I think that the Glazers were protecting themselves because they're not foolish. They know the flaws that they have done or that they have caused. They know whether your clients or your stakeholders are happy or dissatisfied with what you have done for this business. They know the fans. They know the fans are protesting, but do they care? Do they care? I don't. I don't think so. Right? But let's see what happens in the next year or so if Sir Jim is willing to invest 300 million in the infrastructure and it turns out to be successful. Who knows? Right? Let me get through some comments here. Some women, we read that already. We ain't going back. No, we ain't going back there, Jeffrey. Kess is referring to the infrastructure. Yep. Jeffrey is saying anyone doing anything that keeps them there, knowing fans want them out, is a caca hole. Oh boy. Jeffrey is also saying, Chad, I said so before. He is basically funding the Glazers' bills to live lavish. True. Cass is also saying Qataris were investing 1.5 billion to rebuild OT. Right? Some things are just too good to be true, Cass. Some things are too good to be true. Right? I think 95 to 98% of United fans would have wanted the Qataris to take over. There's that 2% or 3% that wanted Sir Jim because I actually had a fella message me. He said he wants Sir Jim to take over, and I asked why. What's Sir Jim's portfolio? Because when the bidding war was going on, we saw what the Qataris were doing, but we never saw what Sir Jim was doing. So the guy was like, I asked him, what's Sir Jim's portfolio? And he said, because Sir Jim is English and he's a United fan.
What? That had to do with anything?
But I said that's all you can give me? He's English and he's a United fan? That's all? And then I got the blue tick. Anyway, Raul, welcome, buddy. Welcome. Thanks for joining on this Friday night. Raul, are you ready for the weekend? And I think that's the question I should have asked all people who were commenting so far, right? And before I go through the comments, I will go back to everybody in the comments and asking this question. Ashton, are you ready for the weekend? Yes. Are you ready for the weekend? Alex, are you ready for the weekend? Jeffrey, Martin, Phillip. Who else know? Raul, I just asked you that question. Are you guys ready for the weekend? Simple question. Raul is saying, fire bun the Glazers. Boy, your sentiments are shared amongst most, if not all, Manchester United fans. Raul is also saying, and the whole team need to put on their big boy draws. We get into that topic soon from now. My next topic is some of these players want slaps around the head. Right? Raul is also saying they need to put on their big boy draws and play for the badge. Definitely. Right? Jeffrey is saying Spurs in debt, but at least they have a new stadium to show for it, unlike Manchester United. Jeffrey is saying the rat is 70. I don't get it. Oh, you mean he's 70 years old? So Jim Ratcliffe.
Ratcliffe.
And if that's why I think you're talking about, um, Jeffrey saying, yeah, I have to go by the mechanic, then work after. Oh, man. And Raul is saying he's always ready for the weekend. Raul, I was ready since Tuesday for the weekend. Kias is saying, yes, he's ready for the weekend. I'm ready to see Wan-Bissaka and Menu back on the field. Right? Last comment from Mr. Martin Phillip. I hope the red part of Manchester could get the job done this weekend. Boy, 8:30 tomorrow morning will let us know.
I can bet you money based on what has been reported today in various sources. We're going to see a lackluster performance. It have no if because
I can
And
bet
I was
money
watching
that we'll see a lackluster performance as well, but for different reasons.
because it's being reported that they getting leaks out of the dressing room, and I know once that starts, they're going to throw the manager under the bus. But my thing is, and I'm hoping that United fans see in the pattern. They did it with 5 consistent managers: David Moyes, Louis Van Gaal,
Jose
Mourinho, Ralph Rangnick, and now with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and now with Erik ten Hag. 6.
Yeah.
And it's basically the same batch of players.
Now, my main question, not my main question is that my statement made was some of these players want a slap across the head. Am I wrong for saying that? And if I am wrong, tell me why. If I'm right for saying that, tell me which players you think need a slap across the head.
Right now, the whole back line, yes?
You're totally right. You're totally right for saying that. The problem is we live in a time where the state will come and arrest you for correcting your child by slapping them, even though your child was wrong. Right? And that is the same. We live in a time where these players are coddled and extra sensitive. And even though that is what they need a little tough love. They may quicker want to throw all the toys out the pram and sit down in the corner and rebel and probably call children's services for you than recognize the discipline as love and go and do what needs to be done. So do they need a slap? Yes. Do I think it will work? Not with this group of players, absolutely not.
I will be honest with you. I would rather he drop the whole team and run out to the under 21s. And if we lose, all right, cool. But I know if them under 21s get a chance to run out, they will run for that 90 minutes. They will cover every blade of grass. They might lose, but they will cover every blade of grass because they understand what it is to play at the highest level.
It's the messed up thing, Courtney. They might win too. They might actually win.
That's all right.
It's Fulham. They might win.
And you saw it with them when they played Wrexham in the preseason tour. Men didn't care what's preseason. I was sitting in your hand. I don't care. Because I'm trying to make a name. And I think one of the things that a lot of the players, especially for the money that they earn, granted that, you're an adult, but if you don't want to play, then don't come to work. Stay home in your house. Tell them you're sick or something. You understand?
But is it that simple, Courtney, in this time where players have more influence on football in terms of like having more followers and living in a very spineless society, and also they kind of know that they think they're the shit, and they can be snapped up at any other club. Because look at Jadon Sancho. Dortmund already inquiring about Jadon Sancho.
Hold on.
Yes, PSG was inquiring about Marcus Rashford not too long ago.
Hold on. You might get snapped up or no. But the contract, the amount of money that they're getting paid right now, you ain't sure to get back that money, yeah? And the Dortmund might want it, no? But Dortmund going to tell you what's going on. The price, the pay you get in Manchester United, you can't get that here, no? So you got to take a pay cut. Because remember, it's not like he's at the highest, he's at his peak performance where he's scoring goals, creating chances week in, week out, and he could demand what he wants. You're exiled from his squad. So whatever you could get, you got to take. And then you have to now go to Dortmund, hope that they don't flop, and prove to the world that you're still a world-class player. Because the world is seriously doubting that you're a world-class player.
I mean,
even Marcus and his that purported move to PSG. You still might be able to command the money again in Manchester United. Your transfer fee might be high, but your salary mightn't be as high as it is in Manchester.
No, I remember when I was a youth and I do something stupid, the parents giving me a slap across my head, and I would wake up instantly and not do that stupid thing again. If I do the stupid thing again, it'll be 4 or 5 months down the road. But within that 4 or 5 months, I'm being disciplined and I'm making sure that I'm on the right path, right? But that was when I was a youth. These days now, you might have to tell them, you don't go by my rules, find another club. Let me get through some of these comments, Courtney, and then get back to you and President Chad when he gets back. Kes is stating he thinks that Ten Hag should let the youths run out, right? I got a question, Kes. I want to agree with you, Kes, but is it that simple? One, and two, do you mean swap the entire team for youths or integrate some of the first team players with some of the youths and take out the individuals in this team who may be playing for themselves and not the badge or have an ego about them? Let me know what you think, Kes. Raul is saying they need a cat or 9 tails. I have a feeling I know what that means, but Courtney, explain that to me. I guess that is a Trinity thing.
No, you don't know what cat of 9 tails is? Cat of 9 tails is a whip.
And that is what I was thinking just now. It was like a whip with like different like branches, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. I know what that is now. Barbados, we got something called a dog hunter. Yeah, beat with a dog hunter. Cass is saying not a slap Phil, a cantonas. Jesus Christ, Cass. You choosing violence tonight, boy. Must say a cantona special center chest. Jesus Christ, Cass, you're choosing violence, boy. Oh boy. Jeffrey is saying those players are lazy. They feel entitled. They aren't willing to adapt to anything new. And as the talk of late start, they're going to down tools even more. They happened under the other managers. Yeah, the other managers were thrown under the bus, right? Martin is saying, if this is how United players perform before getting rid of managers, which high-profile manager will want to come to United? And that's a good question.
No, Menro company paid. Menro company paid. Remember, after you had to pay him off.
Yeah, but payday, yes, but then like it goes on your portfolio that you were a failure and a flop at one of the biggest clubs in the world, right? So
are we still one of the biggest clubs in the world commercially? Yes. Footballing, no. And I'm being very honest.
Yeah. Jeffrey is saying he was never world class, neither his partner. Who?
How did we have this or Rash? What are you talking about?
Jeffrey talking about Sancho or Rashford? Let me know. I think Jeffrey may be talking about Rashford. I may be wrong, but let me know. Let me know in the comments, Jeffrey. Um, Carlton, thanks for joining. My first question to you, Carlton, is: are you ready for the weekend? I need to know if you're ready for the weekend. That's what the show is called. But Carlton's predictions are Fulham 4, United 1. I back in the day I would have been shocked, but this score doesn't faze me because it could be possible the way we're playing, right? Um Kess is saying no, not the entire team. The youths who've trained with the first team, let them play. So I guess Kobe Manu, Hannibal, um
I say take out the entire first team. You don't want to be here, stay home. I go play
maybe
the them.
maybe Dan Gore.
I don't think Dan goes still at the club though. Dan
He's
Gore
not at the
didn't
club
come.
anymore.
I think he on loan.
Oh, he on loan. Okay, my bad. Well, fair enough. Yeah, play the youths that are a bit more hungry and that willing to play from the badge because both Hannibal and Kobe Manu came through our youth system, so they would know what it's like to play at that level for Manchester United, right? So, um, Raul is saying integration of the performing under 23s with the spine of the senior team. Yeah, I can work with that. And Jeffrey is saying both Sancho and Rashford are not world class. I agree with you. I saw a picture today where it was a trio of Sancho, Erling Haaland, and Jude Bellingham. And the caption was, out of these three, Manchester United chose Jadon Sancho. Huh.
I honestly believe, Phil, if we had gone after Haaland, he would not have had the impact that he's currently at.
You don't think
He
so?
can score. But remember, City has action they play around him and his movement. So yeah, we don't have that kind of fluidity. He's thriving
Interesting.
in City system because City plays around him. You know,
Okay, fair enough. And also, we are a club that strikers starve for
correct,
service. So
correct.
just to put that there, right? Um, Raul is saying Carlton go and whine on a cactus. I guess Raul is not happy with the result that Carlton predicted, which was Fulham 4, United 1. Oh boy, Raul, what is your prediction for this weekend? Let us know. And Cass is saying that Dan Gore is still here. Okay, so it's funny. It's funny how some of these players look so good in preseason and they can't get no sniff in this first team, boy. Um,
Yeah,
boy, I did not expect to be here so long. Um, but let me get some predictions from yourself, Courtney. Everyone in the chat, give us some predictions. And also, this is quite interesting. Give us tell us if you're going to be watching the game this weekend. The game starts at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Let me know if you're going to be watching the game tomorrow morning, or you may just tune in for the highlights, or you may even tune in to hear what we got to say. Right? Maybe some people are just tired of seeing Man United play dog shit week in, week out, and just don't want to watch Manchester United at 8:30 in the morning. But let us know your predictions. Let us know if you're going to be watching Manchester United tomorrow morning at 8:30. Um, Raul is saying 2-1 to United. Okay. Just bear in mind we're playing away at Craven Cottage. We're not playing at Old Trafford, which means we could actually win because our our record at Old Trafford this season is dog shit as well too. Um, Kess is saying Manchester United 2, Fulham 0. Okay. So a win for Manchester United. Robert Wallace, thanks for joining in. Better late than never. My question to you, Robert, is: are you ready for the weekend? That's the question I'm asking everybody. Are you ready for the weekend? Robert is saying Fulham 1, Manchester United 2. Scott to score, and fans will say we're going to turn the corner again. Well, I mean, Robert isn't wrong. You never know, right? Let me get a few more comments in. Raul is saying, I still say that if Kobe Manu didn't get injured, we would have been in a much better position.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
That's quite interesting. I at some point this season thought that Kobe Manu should be coming on. And this was bearing in mind he's fit, right? I think that Kobe Manu would have been coming on for, like, let's say Casemiro, and at some point in time, Kobe Manu would have allowed Casemiro to push forward more, and Kobe Manu would have covered the back line, because at the end of the day, Casemiro can't do it by himself, right? So Martin Phillip is saying, I will be watching the game tomorrow. United 2, Fulham 1. Harry will score. Harry Maguire. Ha! Boy.
Already does look for some cold days in hell, bro.
Yeah. Raul is saying that youth is a gel and a workhorse. I'm assuming you're talking about Dangor or Kobe Manu. Probably Kobe Manu. Okay, you did mention it in this comment here. Probably Kobe Manu, yeah. Yep, and he said exactly, Phil. Any predictions from you, Courtney? And are you watching the game tomorrow morning?
If I turn in time, I will turn it on. I'm not actively going to watch it. If we win, it'll be probably a 1-0. Fortunately for us, Fulham hasn't been really banging in the goals. So I more say a 0-0 draw. If we do win, it could be a smash and grab, unfortunately.
To answer the first question, if I'm going to watch the game, all depends on what I do tonight and if I wake up early tomorrow morning. I do want to watch the game, but I just really frustrated as to how the team is performing. So, prediction time, I can see either a 1-1 draw or a 2-0 to Manchester United, right? I don't think it can get any worse. So yeah, roll on, Craven
Really?
Cottage.
Yeah, man, we could get worse than that.
Psh, boy.
I am telling you, we can get worse than that.
It's true. It is very true. Where am I most on? 2 more comments here. Robert is saying the game too early for me. I'm not ready for the weekend. My pay already done. Oh my God. Robert. And Raul is saying, I'll be watching in the most comfortable environment. I'm assuming you're remaining home. Right? But yeah, this is the first time we're doing this Friday night show called Are You Ready for the Weekend? Something that President Chad pushed to me a couple weeks ago, and I said, you know what? Let's go with it. And so far, based on the comments, it's been a great turnout. And also having a guest here, Courtney, definitely want to thank you for this first edition of Are You Ready for the Weekend? Great insight on Pogba and the doping. Great insight on Marcus Rashford partying and Ten Hag saying it's unacceptable. So Jim with 300 million. And then also if some players need a slap across the head, right? To everyone in the comments, thank you very much for this first edition of Are You Ready for the Weekend? Courtney out and Big Phil out as well. And I hope everybody enjoys their weekend, and whether the result of the Manchester United Fulham game, if it doesn't go our way, Don't let it upset your weekend. Don't let it. I beg you. Right? Let me get through these last two comments. Cass is saying he is going to adjust his fantasy Premier League. And then Robert is saying, nice to see Internet Police Courtney on the show.
Okay, boy, Robert boy. Hey, boy.
Oh, man. Guys, it's been a great show. Like I said, first edition of Are You Ready for the Weekend? Great end to the show. And Courtney and Big Phil are out. See you soon.
Hey, if you appreciate what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and let's